Welcome to Italy, an ancient country with a rich history and colorful culture that has given us some of the most delicious food in the world. I'm here with Tuscanini, a brand that's dedicated to bringing those authentic flavors of Italy right to your table. With the help of some culinary artisans and amazing chefs, I got to explore Italy's diverse regions to discover where this overwhelming passion for culinary excellence comes from.
Hello, I'm Roberto Serrini, your culinary host, and in this episode, we travel to Rome to meet up with Sarah Pavoncello to explore the fascinating history of the former Roman Jewish ghetto. Let's go explore. While Rome may be known for its amazing food, culture, and history, it's also home to one of the oldest Jewish ghettos in the world, located just south of Campo di Fiori along the Tiber River. We met up with our local tour guide to explore this fascinating area, which still remains a cornerstone for Jewish culture and cuisine.
Hi, good morning everyone. I'm Sarah Pavoncello and I'm a tour guide specialized in Jewish tours of Rome, and now we are in the center of the former ghetto area, because for us, Jews of Rome, this area is Piazza, our gathering spot. Our meeting place is the center of Jewish life. Just because of this building, this area should be considered the center of Jewish life.
And that building is the Great Synagogue of Rome, a holy site that is the cornerstone of Jewish history here.
So, where are we now? We are in the Great Synagogue of Rome, Tempio Maggiore. Here we have an eclectic style, so we have pillars, Byzantine style, windows Art Nouveau, and then take a look at the dome. It's a very particular one, and it's not round as the domes of any other building of Rome, but it has a squared shape. It's the symbol of the emancipation of the Jews. And then on the ceiling you have a sky with the stars that reminds you the promise that God made to Abraham. You will be as many as the stars in the sky. Another interesting thing, the colors of the decorations are always yellow and red, because yellow and red are the colors of the city of Rome. So it's a way of the Jewish community to say thank you to the city that, becoming the capital of the Kingdom of Italy, gave them freedom and rights. So if the synagogue was meant to symbolize the emancipation of the Jews, nowadays the synagogue is the monument of the Jewish community itself. This is where we have services every day, Shachrit, Mincha and Arvit. This is where we celebrate the major part of weddings, bar mitzvahs. This is the synagogue that has been visited by 3 different popes. First one, John Paul II, it was 1986. It changed completely the history of the relationship between the Vatican and the Jewish community of Rome. He was welcomed by our chief rabbi, Rav Elio Toaf, and John Paul II told us, you are our fratelli maggiori, so it means you are our elder brothers. It means that we are all the same and all at the same level. But the fact that a pope said so here in the synagogue in 1986 completely changed the history of the relationship between the Vatican and the Jewish community of Rome. We are in Europe. Rome was occupied by the Nazis, but the synagogue was not destroyed. How comes? Because the synagogue became a monument of Rome in 1904. 1904, right after the inauguration, King Victor Emmanuel III, King of Italy, fell in love with the beauty of the synagogue, so he decided that it had to be considered a monument of Rome. So when Nazis occupied the city, used the synagogue as a storage, couldn't damage the building, but of course they looted whatever they found. So why am I here in front of one of the doors of the shul? Because here you can see little pieces of the wax seals, of the bigger wax seal that the Nazis have put to lock the doors of the synagogue from the inside. So to make sure the Jews didn't sneak in and didn't get their own belongings. Makes sense, right? Something I didn't tell you about the synagogue is that the synagogue has the Minhag Italki, so Italian service. The Jewish community of Rome is the oldest Jewish community of Europe. We are here at least from the 2nd century before Common Era, 161 BCE. So we don't belong to the split between Ashkenazi Jews and Sephardi Jews. So we have Italian traditions, and one of them is the Minhag Italki, Italian service. Here, in fact, on the Siddur, there is written Siddur B'nai Romi, so the book of prayers of the sons of Rome. And because of this, we have plenty of our own unique traditions. For example, the Jewish Roman cooking traditions are part of them. Another typical tradition of the Jews of Rome is our own Yiddish. Expressions such as oivei, yamaka, beshert, shenaponim. We have similar expressions in Giudaico-Romanesco. For example, I want to tell a baby boy shenaponim, I tell him bella carne, that literally means beautiful meat. Or if I want you to shut up, but it's not like I don't want to listen to you, it's more like don't talk, it's inappropriate, it's better if I take care of it. I tell you fa davare. Davare from ledaber, to speak. So you understand that you have to shut up.
While the synagogue is amazing in its own right, the experience continues under the building, where Jewish culture and a wealth of historic relics are kept.
So, here we are in the Jewish Museum of Rome, a museum that dates back 1960. It was upstairs in 2 small rooms. It's here in the basement of the Great Synagogue from 2005. What's displayed here are the items, Torah covers, parochets, aronot, rimonim, and crowns that were donated by the Jewish families to the synagogue to which they belonged during ghetto times. Do you think that they are just here displayed and never used? Not at all, because we use them every year. When? For the high holidays, Rosh Hashanah, Kippur, and Sukkot. For example, this is my father, October 30, 2016. They took this picture in the Sephardi synagogue. It was Hoshana Rabbah. No Moed, Kol HaMoed, so they could take the picture. This crown, if you take a look, is that one right there.
It was time to take to the streets to see where all the history becomes present day and experience one of the most vibrant areas of Rome with Sarah at the helm.
This area is the center of Jewish life. Doesn't matter if you are an elder woman or if you are a young professional or a teenager. This is the center of Jewish life. Where are we now? In the only street that survived the ghetto times, which is Via della Reginella. So here you have a map of how the ghetto looked like, how the ghetto looks like nowadays, because all of this doesn't exist anymore. Only street that survived the ghetto times, Via della Reginella, that's exactly the same. So nowadays we have the 4 blocks we saw instead of the hundreds of buildings that were squeezed into the ghetto.
While the area has changed drastically since ghetto times, the Jewish experience lives on here, something that Sarah and her family could speak personally about pretty much at every corner.
So this is family shop, a family store, and it used to be my great-grandma and then my grandmother's shop. Ciao zia! So this is the inscription about my great-grandma. Here used to live Betta, the wife of Cuccio, the most beautiful one of the Reginella, of the street. I have to introduce you to Mr. Emanuele, and so he was living here and he still lives in the same apartment, wakes up in the morning of October 16th and he sees from the window here that his mom is getting rounded up over there in the piazza. He's 12 years old, so he wants to catch up with her, and he does so. Nazis put him on the same track. What does his mom do? She hugs him, she holds him as tight as she can, and then throws him out of the truck. Instead of running, he pretends that nothing happened, so he starts walking. And he arrives in the piazza, jumps on a bus, where he spent 2 days and 2 nights, thanks to the help of the driver and the man in charge of the tickets. Then, the 3rd day, a local Jew here from this area saw him on the bus and told him that his father and his brothers were looking for him. So he gets reunited with his family, but unfortunately his mom didn't survive the first roundup of Rome of October 16th, 1943. His mother's name is written right here. Her name was Virginia Piazza.
I tell my story 75 years.
Yeah.
Nobody knows. Now I'm a star.
Yeah.
Anybody know me? I born in the same house. I live before in my house. I live 20 people.
Wow.
Now alone, just me.
Walking through history with Sarah was amazing. And this rich, complex past is what she says defines kosher cuisine at its base.
Regarding many other cooking traditions that we still have, most of them date back the ghetto times. Why? Because Jewish people during ghetto experience didn't have just to live in the ghetto, they were not just forced to live in the ghetto. Jewish people had plenty of different restrictions during the day, and most of the restrictions were regarding food.
To me, it's a beautiful sentiment that in a kosher product like Tuscanini, you can, in every bite, feel the persistence of faith, heritage, and everlasting history that makes the Jewish culture so rich and prolific. Buon appetito!